They talk behind your back, smile in your face with knives behind their teeth. But the true warrior doesn't swing back. He listens. He waits. He lets their noise echo into nothing. Why? Because silence is not submission. It's strategy. Most people misunderstand stillness. They think if you don't clap back, you're afraid. If you don't explode, you're weak. But silence, real silence, is forged in the furnace of control. When someone tries to provoke you, what they're really doing is saying, "Please, validate me. Show me that I still have power over your peace." But when you stay still, when your eyes remain calm, when your energy doesn't change, you rob them of what they crave most, significance. They suffocate in your indifference. Epictetus taught, it's not the things themselves that disturb us, but our judgment about them. So if you decide that their insult has no weight, then it has no power. You are the judge. You are the court. And your verdict is silence. This is not passive. It is the most assertive act of restraint. Imagine your stillness as a mirror. When they scream into it, all they see is themselves. And that's what truly breaks them. Have you ever experienced this? When someone tried everything to pull you into a storm, but you stayed still, and that stillness made them unravel. Because true dominance isn't how loud you speak. It's how little you need to. Your enemies don't want to see you succeed. They watch from the shadows, waiting for your failure. But every morning you rise early. Every evening you reflect. You are sculpting something they can't touch, your inner strength. While they waste their energy in gossip and resentment, you channel yours into growth. You move with purpose, not noise. You show up, calm, clear, and focused. You don't argue. You don't explain. You let your discipline speak for itself. And over time, your consistency becomes a mirror. It shows them what they lack, not because you flaunt it, but because excellence has a way of making mediocrity uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." You don't rise out of revenge. You rise because your soul refuses to rot in the same soil. You refuse to carry hate like they do. You carry purpose. And in that quiet, grounded commitment to becoming better, you break them without touching them. Because what hurts most to a bitter soul is to watch someone they tried to break become someone they can no longer reach. That's how you win without ever raising your voice. You keep walking forward, disciplined, grounded, and above the noise. Hate burns quickly. It consumes the one who holds it. But discipline, that endures, it is not loud. It is not flashy. But it builds, day by day, like stone rising through storm. You don't just survive your enemies. You outlast them. While they scream in shadows, you move in purpose. They use their time to gossip. You use yours to grow. Seneca once said, "How much better it is to heal a wrong than to avenge one." And he was right. Because while they rot in resentment, you're building something that doesn't need applause. A life so grounded, so clear, that they can't even comprehend it anymore. One day, they'll look around and realize, you're not even fighting the same battle. You've moved on, elevated, evolved. And the battlefield they cling to? It's empty. Because you've already walked off it years ago. That's not retreat. That's victory in silence. Forgiveness. It sounds soft. It sounds like surrender. But real forgiveness is not weakness. It's power. When you forgive with clarity and strength, you're not letting them off the hook. You're cutting the hook out of your own heart. You're telling them, you don't get to live in my mind anymore. You don't get to poison my peace. That's not mercy for them. That's freedom for you. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus said, "It is not enough to refrain from harming others. We must also not wish them harm." Forgiveness is how you reclaim your energy, how you release the mental rent they've been living in. Because if you hold on to the hatred, you carry them with you. Every bitter thought keeps them alive in your system. But when you forgive, fully, intentionally, you bury the pain inside a version of you that they can no longer touch. And people notice. They see your stillness, your grace. And they realize you're not just surviving, you're transcending. You didn't just take the high road. You became the mountain. That's the paradox. You break your enemies the most by showing they no longer have the power to break you. There is a kind of revenge so powerful, it doesn't look like revenge at all. You don't argue, you don't explain, you don't even glance back. You simply rise. Rise so high, so quietly, so undeniably, that their hate can no longer reach you. That is the Stoic path. Not to destroy your enemies, but to become someone they could never destroy. You stop meeting them in the mud. You build a life in the sky. And one day, while they're still throwing stones at the ghost of who you used to be, you'll be walking in peace, too far above for the noise to matter. Your peace is not just a shield. It is a message. It says, I no longer operate on your level. When they gossip, you build. When they provoke, you focus. When they doubt you, you keep walking. That kind of silence speaks louder than anger ever could. That kind of calm burns in their memory longer than any insult. Remember what Marcus Aurelius wrote. The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. Don't mirror their chaos. Don't let them pull you into the theater of petty wars. Your dignity is not negotiable. You don't have time to teach small minds why you refuse to shrink. You have mountains to climb, empires to build, peace to protect. Do not fall for their tricks. Their goal is not to win. It's to shake your sense of self. If you react, they feel power. If you stay grounded, you take it away. The real power? It's walking away from a fire without smelling like smoke. It's not clapping back. It's being too busy living well to care. They might try to bait you. Lies, accusations, subtle digs. But every time you stay silent, you remind them of their own noise. Every time you rise, you remind them of what they've chosen to remain. Bitterness, smallness. You don't need to say a word. Your life will speak. True power never needs to prove itself. It just is. Stoicism doesn't make you passive. It makes you precise. You choose where your energy goes. You conserve it for growth, not grudges. You build not to spite them, but because your vision demands it. So let them mock. Let them doubt. Let them try to pull you down. And then keep building. Keep rising. Keep becoming. Until the air around you is too rare for them to breathe. Until your peace becomes your armor and your silence becomes your crown. There will always be someone who doubts your worth, who laughs when you rise, who twists your silence into weakness. Let them, because the truth is, they don't hate you. They hate what you represent. The proof that it's possible to heal without bitterness, to rise without revenge, to live without drama. You are the quiet contradiction to their chaos. And that alone is enough to disturb everything they thought was true. So keep going, not to prove them wrong, but to prove to yourself that you were never broken to begin with. You were becoming. Because in the end, you don't need a comeback. You don't need to explain your path to those committed to misunderstanding you. You don't even need to be seen. You just need to live in a way that honors your truth. That's the ultimate defiance. Not louder, not angrier, just clearer, purer, freer. They wanted to steal your peace. Instead, they became the reason you protected it with everything you have. You don't have to yell. You don't have to fight. You don't even have to be understood. What you need is peace. Not the peace that comes after revenge, but the kind that was never disturbed in the first place. That's what makes you unshakable. That's what turns your silence into power. They may keep watching, waiting for a reaction, but there is none, because you've already won the moment you refuse to play their game. Let them wonder how you got so calm. Let them feel the weight of your indifference. And let them see that the only way to hurt someone like you is to leave you in peace. So ask yourself, who still has access to your energy? Who are you still giving explanations to when your life already speaks for itself? If this message struck something in you, leave a comment below and let us know. What is one thing you no longer give your energy to? Because here, we rise in silence, together. And if you found strength in this video, like it, share it, and subscribe, not just to support the channel, but to remind yourself, you're not alone in this path of quiet power.